Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Raven Creek Park here in Planet Zoo, and to be more specific, welcome to the second part of our alligator area build, alligator adventure build, whatever you want to call it, the alligator exhibit build. Last time we built the outdoor exhibit for the alligators, so the one they will use most of the time throughout the year and where you can see them in all their glory. And today we are focusing on the indoor area because of course we are in Oregon, our zoo is in Oregon, and that means in the winter and in the spring we have kind of nasty cold temperatures here, temperatures that alligators and other reptiles don't really can live with, so we need to have an indoor area for them. But before we start talking about everything this build has to offer and stuff like that, I want to make two announcements or two things I want to say before we start. And the first is there will also not be a real life tour at the end of this video. I know I said last video I will do a tour of the outdoor area and the new indoor area in this video, but if you look down at the time of this video is already around 27-28 minutes long, and as I said in the last video, I don't like to do over half an hour video, stuff like that, and this tour would probably take half an hour. So this will also just be a speed build. You got a sense of an idea how the whole build looks finished in the intro cinematic that you just saw, and then next week, when we will focus on the fast food restaurant, the alligator lookout point, for more information, of course, watch the first part of this video. There I talked about all the plans for this area. But yeah, when we finish that, because that shouldn't take too long, it's a pretty simple build, then we will do a complete full tour of the outdoor area of the alligators. We will do a tour of the indoor part here, this guest indoor experience for the alligators, and the restaurant slash fast food slash lookout point that we will in the next episode. We will do all these things in one tour next video, and then even if it takes longer, I don't care, then you will get the full picture, the full experience of this whole alligator area. That is point number one, why we are building the crocodile indoor pool here in the background. And point number two is I like to welcome each and every one of the new console players, because when this video comes out, the console edition of Planet Zoo should have been released yesterday if nothing went wrong. So I like to welcome each and every one of you that is now playing this wonderful game on console. I hope all of you have an amazing time and a lot of fun. And yeah, if you're interested in some tips and tricks videos, if you want to see some, I don't know, even basic stuff, even basic building stuff, I sadly can only show it on PC. I don't own a next-gen console, so I can't play it on console. But even then, if you want to see some tips and tricks for this game, let me know down in the comments. If I can help you, I will help you. We are all one part of the big Planet Zoo family, so I hope you have an amazing time with this game, and yeah, you have a lot of fun. And yeah, don't give up. Always try to achieve even better results and make the most amazing zoos that you can. So yeah, enjoy the game. So now back to the actual build, before I start rambling again. We are of course building the indoor area, as I already said, for the alligators here, because we are in colder temperatures, or when we have nasty weather, we need to have a way to keep them warm, to keep them in a controlled environment, and this is what we're doing here. And don't worry that this place might look a little bit small, or this indoor area might look a bit smaller for 4 alligators. It can be, but as I said, it's not a permanent solution. It's only we have them during the time when it's very cold outside, and we also will have an additional backstage area that the guests can't see, where we can also have some space for the crocs, and crocs don't need much space. Let's be honest, they usually just float around in the water or lay on land, so they don't need that much special requirements. And yeah, similar to what we did outside with the keeper presentation points that is on the other side of this wall, where we can have some keeper talks. I also wanted to do a similar thing inside, and that's why we're building this pier now. This little part of a house, almost a facade of a house inside a house. where we could have these keeper talks happening, also these feeding shows happening, so the keepers and stuff like that and other staff members can stand on top of this yeah, I don't know, kai, I would say, I would call it a quai, and then they can, yeah, talk to the guests about alligators, explain stuff, and also feed the alligators from there, from a safe distance, while, yeah, the alligators are in the water, of course, downside. So that is what I found, and I think it looks really cool. It also adds a little bit to the theming of the whole area, because we have still this, yeah, southern USA style feels, this Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi style that we want to keep here. So having this, yeah, almost old shed in the enclosure gives that feeling also too. And yeah, the ideas of this house started as just a simple backstage, so something I would want to have the crocs in during colder months. But then I thought, yeah, maybe it would also be cool if the guests can see the crocodiles when they are inside, because there maybe are also other occasions when we don't have the crocodiles outside. Maybe one is sick, or there are some fights happening between the two animals or more. So you would want to separate them and would have one in the inside area. And so the idea came to make this a whole, yeah, guest building, guest experience, where they can also learn more about crocodiles, yeah, about alligators and crocodiles, and about the wetlands and stuff like that. So I also will later design my first own education tools. Basically, they are not functional in game. They would of course be in real life, but yeah, my first time experience or playing around with custom education stuff that we will later see in the video. So we are further emphasize this idea that this is a space where you can learn about crocodiles, maybe about their relationships with people, with humanity itself, about yeah, their role in the environment, and that they are a key animal of the Everglades and of the swamps of the southern USA, stuff like that. So that was the idea. And we will have 2 more animals. I already kind of talked about that in the last video, that I also wanted to include some exhibits, some, yeah, no, this time real exhibits, Planet Zoo exhibits in this build, and I wasn't sure which animals I wanted to have. You can already see here in the footage that I have one of them, and this is the American bullfrog, a very much common animal that you see in the swamps. And we will, for the first part of the video, we will only build for the American bullfrog, but later then you will see, cut this out, you will see that there are now 2 exhibits later on, and the second one is for the diamondback terrapin. Not an animal that is from the swamps or the southern USA, but it is a wetlands animal from the US, and it also, yeah, has needed some conservation efforts. It is still, yeah, has still some problems with habitat loss, with destruction and pollution of waters and stuff like that. So it's a nice thing that we also feature this animal here, and yeah, basically make the people aware of their problems. So I mean, the bullfrog doesn't need any protection. It's very widespread animal and sometimes even invasive, if you ask an Australian person. But yeah, the terrapin have this, and then we have, and this also means we have 2 more animals in this area that people can look at, and we will also customize the exhibits to an extent, in the case that we will make it smaller. You will see that later on how I achieve that, so I don't have to deal with the 4x4 giant box that Planet Zoo still thinks is suitable, even if it's just a small newt, or an axolotl, or just a small beetle. But yeah, I'm getting distracted. I still hope that maybe the last DLC or the last update that we get brings some exhibit customization, but I'm losing hope at this point. Maybe in Planet Zoo 2, whenever it happens, if it happens in a couple of years, maybe we get some more customization for exhibits. Then I would only hope it would benefit the game so much, and it would really, yeah, help get these animals, or get these animals more love that they deserve, because at this point most people, I don't think, even think about the exhibit animals. They just, if they are playing franchise, they just put them down to make a quick buck, or raise money early in the franchise time, and if they are playing sandbox, I don't know if many people even use the exhibit animals in sandbox. And if they use it, if they give them more than one or two looks, and then just ignore them for the rest of the time, because yeah, they don't do much. They are huge as hell. They need a lot of space, but yeah, that is it. But yeah, here we're now building the backstage area, or the second backstage area for the crocs. So this will be just a simple cage that we can bring the crocs in if we need some medical research, if we need some training, for example. If we need to separate them, then we can get them in the separate room that yeah, will not be visible for the guests, but only for the keepers. And that here, this room here will be the food kitchen that you can actually look kind of into from the outside. If you're standing on the rope bridge on the outside exhibit, you can kind of get a look into the food kitchen. I will not show in this video how I decorate everything inside. It's pretty much the same as I do with all my backstages, and I use a lot of my blueprints that I use in all my backstages, so nothing new here. If you want to see how I do, or I decorate backstages, look like on videos like the Vicent video, for example, or my South American backstage. There I explain a lot of the stuff. So yeah, to make this video not even longer, the raw footage was around, I think, 4 hours. So 4 hours for the whole build, and then sped up. It was still, I think, 48 hours. Not 48 hours, my god, it's 48 minutes. So I cut it down pretty drastically in some parts, as I usually do, to just, yeah, give you the most essential and most important stuff. But yeah, here we see how I do the exhibit. I yeah, took the image that is now available for the exhibit's backgrounds from the files, and yeah, uploaded them to my custom image folder so that I can use them on any screen that is in game. And then I basically, they are a little bit brighter than the usual one, but I use them now as the same background. It doesn't, if you don't know that it should be darker, you don't even will notice that it is brighter now. And yeah, then I just apply them, and that way I can make the exhibit a little bit smaller, and in the way that I bring the background a little bit forward, basically. But yeah, we also need a roof, and there's a lot of empty rooms in here. You see that here, especially where the exhibit are, and there will not be anything in these rooms. These rooms would normally be for stuff like, yeah, technical stuff. You would have maybe stairs down to the water filtration system, to all the power outlets, stuff like that, maybe some storage rooms. That's why I considered them in this build, but I will not decorate them, because there's also a lot of stuff from the visible part sticking into these rooms, a lot of pieces that have otherwise would be too huge to use. I can phase them into that room, so that's why they stay empty. But they are still there. The mass of these rooms is still there, so the building doesn't look too thin or too yeah, too not functional, I should say, is the word for it. And yeah, now we go over to the first part of the roof. So that's the inside part of the roof, basically, that the guest can see, if they can see the roof. We will get about to that later. And also we have a window, of course, here that we can open if the summer is too hot. I mean, the whole area is temperature regulated, but still we could open it to let in some fresh air, and it also brings some nice light into the croc enclosure, so they don't live only in the artificial light, of course. But yeah, if you are playing the console version, I hope you're having a great day. Talking about this again, and let me know in the comments, if you're a console player, what is the first animal you build for? What is the first thing you want to do in this game? Are you playing the missions? Are you playing franchise mode, carrier mode, or sandbox mode? And if so, what animal do you build first for? What building do you want to build first? Do you want to build a whole zoo, or do you just want to test out things before you start with the real channels, basically? Let me know that in the comments. And yeah, we go over now to the roof, and I first, yeah, a little bit of a story here. I first had no clue how I wanted to build the the corrugated metal roof here on this entrance. I know I wanted to have them because I still wanted to imply this being a house in the swamp, so I needed some corrugated roof, but all the standard pieces were too large, didn't fit my dimensions. Before I know, I remembered, yeah, I can also just use the trims. And yeah, thanks to Mr. Blob, an awesome friend of mine, and also amazingly planned zoo player, also here on YouTube and on Twitch, he used the trims for a custom roof in one of his latest builds in his paw zoo. And yeah, that's why what I remember when I was building and when I was struggling to think about how I wanted to do the roof, and so I just use the trims, the corrugated roof trims, and doubled them, and so that way I could make a little fake roof basically that I could then make a flat roof on top of that. It's just from a guest perspective, you don't notice that it's not a full roof. You would think it's a full one, but you just see the lowest trim basically. But yeah. Going now into the decorative part of this area, and yeah, now you see what I mean when if the guest can even see the lower roof, because we are building like a second roof inside the building. There's a lot of second roofs and buildings inside this building, but this is to imply the idea that they're walking on a walkway in the bayou, in the swamp, or like that they are in a house in the swamp, and then they look outside and see the crocs swimming there next to the walkway or the house, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to have to be it. Yeah, it is for more immersion in this build, and it turns out really well. It gives makes the whole building, which is quite huge because we have the exhibit, so we need at least around 3 to 4 meters of space out in the height for the exhibits to work. Otherwise, they would stick outside of the building. So it makes it a little bit low. It makes the whole ceiling a little bit lower. It makes it feel a little more cramped, a little bit more, I don't know, less spacious, basically. Sometimes the opposite of what you originally wanted to achieve, or what you want to achieve normally. It makes it more comfortable, I would call it. And if you saw it in the intro, you know it turned out really well. I really like it. I wasn't too sure about the idea first, because sometimes it doesn't work out what you plan. But you should try it nonetheless. If you have an idea and you are not sure if it works out or if it will look stupid, try it out. Just try it, do it, and if it doesn't work out, okay, you can still delete it and try again. But maybe it's an amazing thing. Maybe it works out amazingly. Maybe you find something new that no one else has done before, and it would be some of your greatest creations. So I wouldn't call that my greatest creation, but you know what I mean. Just try some things, even if they sound stupid. But yeah, let's now move over to the custom, I should say custom education basically. And I downloaded a bunch of pictures from the internet. And my idea here was to showcase how alligators and humans have been crossing paths throughout history, throughout different medias basically. And so I wanted to show some advertisements where you could bought live crocodiles back in the early 1900s basically, or in the early 2000s. You could buy live crocodiles and taxidermied crocodiles. Then I also found some really funny movies. I think one is called Alligator Named Daisy, and the other one just straight up Alligators. So it sounds like a horror movie, like a scary movie. So I found some movie posters, and I found advertisement for, of course, alligator wrestling, which is very famous in the US. One from the Zoo Tampa, which was using alligators advertisement, and then I think one is from an orange company, if I would have to guess, which is using the alligator as their mascot. So I wanted to show how alligators and humans crossed paths throughout the whole time, and just having this assortment, this collection of different adverts and different posters and informations about the alligators. And this here is was my other idea, was my really educational idea, and I'm a little bit proud about that one, about the ideas I had with this. And you see these different signs. You see one for the bison, you see one for the alligator, and for the red deer. And my idea here is that you press a button, and then you hear a sound of an animal. either the pheasant, the alligator, or the red deer, and then you have to push the right button under the animal, and if it's the right animal, or if the sound matches the animal, the light over the animal will lit up. So you have to guess if the sound you hear is from the pheasant, the alligator, or the red deer. And then you learn what sounds alligators and pheasants and red deers make, and why alligator sounds can sometimes be you can sometimes think an alligator sounds is maybe something a deer would make or a buffalo would make, because they have these very deep grounds, these very deep growls that they do, and that sounds really cool. If you haven't heard how an alligator sounds, look it up. But yeah, this was my idea here. I don't know. It's my first time doing custom education, stuff like that. I'm not an expert in this. I mean, I am a teacher. I should know about education. But yeah, education displays in zoos is something totally new for me. So I was just trying stuff out. And you can tell me if I did good or not. And if you have other ideas, I could do for education for alligators. There's still I think 1 or 2 spots free that I could use, that I could make use of some ideas from you guys. But yeah, we are getting now to the last part of this area. We're now doing also minor decorations, like we're doing the heat lamps over here to have the alligators pretty nice and warm and crispy. And then we also do some planting, we do some more foliage work and some smaller stuff, some smaller decorational stuff. We will also use, that you also saw that in the intro, a lot of the signs made by the wonderful and amazing lion, which you can find on the workshop, and which I always love to use because they are so wonderful made. So that is also what I'm using here to create more information for about the animals and about everything around the animals. And yeah, I will now leave you, that is what I wanted to say, I will now leave you to the rest of this speed build. As I said, no real-time part this time. We will do the whole area basically in the next video after the speed build there, after this imbiss, fast food part there. We will do the whole area showcase then in all the time we need for it. And yeah, for this video I wish you an amazing time. If you're now playing on the console, I wish you the most of fun with this game. I hope you enjoy it, and everyone else of course also enjoy their game on PC as always. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next video, and until then I hope you stay safe, you have a wonderful time, and yeah, I just have to say goodbye everyone and enjoy the rest of the video.